Alright, what is up, guys? Garrett here, GBL Iguanas, and I'm in here with Sully and Tammy at the moment as I'm moving my way around. Oh boy, almost dropped everything. Hey Sully boy, look at this big handsome boy. So today what we're going to talk about is questions that, golly, I gotta know what I'm doing here. Questions that I get asked a lot, and then also just like a bunch of questions that I'll see a lot online. And really a lot of it's as far as like the equipment that's used with reptiles, lizards, more specifically, of course, the iguanas, but a lot of this stuff will translate to pretty much any reptile. So, yeah, we'll just get right into it. So, one of the big things that we use that for heat, which is this bulb here, is our main heat bulb, and that's our UVB right here, right there, which we'll get to. Gosh, I'm zoomed in so far. I really don't know what the heck I'm doing here. But yeah, so for our heat bulbs, we use from Home Depot. They're the Philips branded, oh gosh, what on earth? They're the Philips branded halogen indoor-outdoor floodlights, not the LEDs. The LED ones don't produce any heat. So these are the 90 watt, I think the box says, 90 watt, but only uses 72 watts. But they're perfect. They put out a great amount of heat. So of course you got to be careful if it's a smaller enclosure, if it's an animal that doesn't require, excuse me, the high basking temperatures. Like these guys are almost like monitors, rhino iguanas, the Lewis size, Cubans, all Cyclura, they like it hot, like 120, 130. They love that. So we use these Philips lights. I get a 6-pack of them from Home Depot for $30. So $5 a bulb to get. From an exotic pet store or something like that, you get an 100 watt, 150 watt bulb. Those things are going to be $15 a piece, and half the time they blow really quickly. Not to say these ones don't. These ones blow very quickly too. But at least at $6 a bulb, they're a lot better than, $15 a bulb. And if they're only using 72 watts compared to 150 watts, giving you the same amount of heat, if not more, that's going to help save you on your electric bill. So we use these on all of our lizards. Some of them will have them plugged into a little like a dimmer switch, which we'll get. You can get them at Home Depot, but I think we got the ones that we got off Amazon. You'd plug this just into the dimmer, and then the dimmer plugs into your power source, and then it just has a dimmer slide on it. So you can control everything and get it to exactly where it needs to be. But for heat, that is absolutely the way to do it. And then if you need high heat or a nice hot basking spot, we have this black slate tile. I mean, it was like $3.50 for the tile, I think. Holds heat really well, gets really nice and hot, and it helps to file down these freaking daggers too. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Your daggers. You are a handsome boy, though. Yeah, so let's check on, go say hi to Tammy real quick, and then we'll go and talk about some more stuff as we're moving around here. And Tammy's just kind of tucked back here. Little goober. Please excuse the noise. I have this tiny little space heater thing. It's completely safe for him because it shuts off. If it falls over or something and this button right here doesn't get depressed, it shuts off. So just being in the basement in this cage, not being the most insulated thing in the world, that helps to add that little bit of extra heat. Other random bits and pieces that we use, you'll see this in a lot of our cages, are these cat towers. The iguanas really love them. They actually, they'll sleep up in here quite a bit. It just gives them ways they can climb up and do stuff. Got this off Amazon, another little cat house that they use as a hide, and they'll climb on it. Just real simple, easy stuff. And then this cage is actually like an outdoor chicken coop. It's a 10-foot by 6-foot coop, and then at its peak up here, it's about 6.5 feet tall. This is just an LED, a plug-in LED shop light from Amazon. I think it was maybe like $30, something like that. Puts off the perfect amount of light to light up this entire cage perfectly. What's up, Ron? He doesn't even know what the heck he's doing half the time. Buddy, oh, you look so goofy with all that shit on your face. So you always got to come in and see. Ron is Sully is amazing, but Ron I think is still most people's favorites. Look at that cute face on him. Almost like he's wearing like a little mask with all that shit. Oh, but Ron is just the bestest boy ever. See that wound? It's all perfectly healed up. That all that little discoloration and like that scabbing, that's still working on going away, but it's all completely closed up and healthy. So yeah, like I said, I have another cat tree in here, and they use it. They climb up all around on it. It works out really, really nice. You know, this is a cage that me and my buddy Jack put together. It gets the job done. You know, it's plenty big for everybody, that they can all fit in here, and I can get in here with them and do what we need to do. But yeah, so real simple. We have some heat lights. Well, that was one of the bulbs that just kept blowing, so I just didn't replace it because there just really wasn't a need for it. But yeah, so we got one of their heat lights over here. Got a heat light over there. Oh, thank you for sneezing on me, buddy. You jerk. Yeah, so we got their UVB light, heat light, branches for them to climb on. All super, super easy stuff. So while we're over here, let's talk about UVB lights. Excuse me, buddy. I don't like stepping over you, because that's rude. So for UVB, we use the Reptile UV Mega Ray MVB, or Mercury Vapor Bulb. Basically, in a nutshell, it's basically like a halogen bulb, so it's producing heat, and then it also produces UVB, and it produces a ton. What are you doing at my foot, fool? It produces a ton of UVB. We use these for all the iguanas, the tortoises, the bearded dragons, the laka, or blue tongue skink. Everybody gets mercury vapor bulbs. Come here, buddy. There you go. You can be the center of attention up here. They produce such a crazy amount. The company is owned by a gentleman named Bob McCarger, out of I think he's in South Carolina. They're the best bulbs on the market. They're not really overly expensive. They're about $50 for the bulb. They come in a couple different iterations. They have I think they have a 75 watt. I've never used that, but they have a 100 watt, 160 watt, and then I believe there's like a 275 watt, which again, I've never used that one either. Typically, I'm using the 100 or the 160 watts. So the one that's in here is the 160 watt. These cages, just like with any UVB light, you have to just be careful of the distance between the top of the animal and the base of the bulb, because you don't want them to be overexposed. So in here, with it being a bigger cage, we have the 160 watt, which is an 18-inch, is what the minimum should be, which is pretty much what I've got. I think Diego's hears my voice and is trying to get around. I hear noises. But yeah, so it produces such a high amount of UVB. This is what we use on all of our animals. And on the 160 watt, produces a lot more than the 100. So it doesn't just come down. It actually comes out, and I think it's like a 30-inch circumference all the way around. You know, so even when he's sitting there basking under the halogen light, he's still getting UVB. And then if he moves over, of course. These are, like I said, in my opinion, for $50, they're going to last you a minimum of a year, and still produce high UVB. Honestly, pretty much by the time they blow, they're ready to be replaced. This is what I've been doing for years with all my animals and how I do it, and they work perfectly, and they put out just the best. So for $50 compared to what you'll spend on the fluorescent bulbs, especially. That's how you know you have a happy, well-socialized animal. Just coming, crawling over. I don't know what else he's doing, but yeah, so they last longer than the fluorescent lights, and honestly, they're actually kind of cheaper. So when you start looking at these bigger cages and you start needing multiple 4-foot bulbs and stuff like that, you know, that all gets very expensive very quickly. And the animals have to be a lot closer to the lights as well. So it just works out better. So that's why we use these on every single cage, and I would never use anything else. What are you doing? What a goober, man. You are just so funny. Okay, bye. What's up, Diego? Oh, you're sneezing too? Goodness gracious, you lazy bum. So next thing to talk about, sorry, I'm trying to fix this camera here so y'all don't get this black spot inside. Bro, what are you head nodding at? I know, I see you, big guy. You can come over and say hello. I'm not coming over to you, you're coming over to me. I'm sure I'm gonna end up coming over to him. But anyway, so next thing that we use, so you'll see in all of our cages again, very similar things. So again, little mini cat tree, with Diego being so much bigger, obviously a really tall, skinny one where the hide boxes not being that big didn't work for him. So the smaller one for him has worked out great. He'll actually sleep on top of that a lot. And I do have a big paver at the bottom to help stabilize it. Oh, now are you gonna come over? What a goofball. So yeah, so we have his halogen light right there, 160 watt mega ray right here. And then actually in this lamp, we run I think it's a 100 watt ceramic heat emitter because one of his bulbs blew and just I didn't have another bulb on hand to replace it with. I had a heat emitter, so I went with that. He's got 3 bulbs because of how big he is. Of course, with all the other Cyclura and all the rhinos, of course, once they get to this size, they'll all have 3 basking lights. Again, Ron and Bindy's cage, where I only have, you saw where the ones that are blown and all that. I haven't put new ones in because I haven't needed to because of how small they are. As he gets bigger, or as they get bigger, we'll get this. So another thing we use are, as far as the domes are concerned, these are just work light domes from Home Depot. They're like $12, $13 a piece, something like that. So they are cheaper than the ones you're gonna get at your reptile store. To get an 8.5 inch dome, which that's what you need for like a minimum of 150 watt bulb. Those things are running over 20 bucks. And then if you need a deep dome, those are over $30. Crazy stuff. We do have some deep domes and all that because certain applications you will, you need that. If you're able to hang the lights, you'll never need a deep dome. I always go for the ceramic ones where I can, so at the socket here. So the ceramic socket is just a lot safer than these plastic ones, and they also hold a lot more heat. So this one can actually hold, I think it's either 250 or 300 watts. More than enough for the 160 watt bulb that goes in there. And then these plastic ones are rated for up to 100 watts. I just think at the time, that's just all that they had in stock. I don't think they had the ceramic all the way around. Otherwise, I would have got the ceramic. But that's why I keep the lower wattage. Yes, there's a 100 watt heat emitter, but the heat emitters are they're a little bit safer than bulbs anyway. So that's just what we go with. So we run these on everyone's cage. See, I told you I was gonna end up coming over to you. Hi, boy. In his cage that we're in here, I've talked about before, this is a 12 foot by 9 foot chicken coop, which has been modified a little bit because it's served different purposes. It used to actually hold, what did I have in here? I had 4 adult redfoot tortoises that I actually used to keep in here before I figured out and realized that multiple redfoots are not good indoor pets because just the humidity and moisture that they require means a bunch of bugs and mosquitoes and whatnot in here, which I was always fighting with, and they're just so darn messy. So those were all rehomed, and then of course I cleaned everything out and redid everything in here for Diego. But yeah, this is it's a 9 foot by 12 foot chicken coop that is in the basement here. Really, really great size. It's kind of one of those things where I was looking to do things as cost effectively as possible at the time. And it has worked. In hindsight, I really should have just tried to, spend the extra few bucks and build something out of wood. Just because it's be a little bit better insulated and escape proof. Chicken wire is not a good deterrent for Diego. So yeah, in hindsight, that's what I would have done, because with all the modifications I had to do, just putting these foam insulation boards everywhere, having to cover up everywhere where he digs holes out of. It's It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it does work. And if honestly, if we were going to be staying here for the long term, I would probably redo everything and rebuild it. But you know, within the next year or two, like I've talked about, we want to buy a really nice big property and just redo everything and do some really awesome cages. But yeah, so 12 foot by 9 foot cage, just some AstroTurf from, I think it was Amazon, where I got these rolls, cypress mulch, little hide box in there. Those used to all come on, but honestly, one of the I had a bulb blow and it got stuck in one of the sockets, so I'd have to remove all that and dig that out of there, which I just haven't done yet, because I have all this stuff is zip tied up so it doesn't fall, which is just a bear. But yeah, you can see the socket's still in there from a bulb. So he gets by with just this. It's the ambience warm enough in here, and then the basking areas are warm enough. And again, you see pavers, and you know, we have this black slate here just to help his temperatures get really nice and high. All right, and then really the last bit of equipment to talk about really are just the cages that we use for some of the other iguanas. Man, it is freaking coming down out there. What is up, G? Head bobbing at me. Yeah. That's another one where that light, the socket got messed up from, I don't even know what the heck happened, and they kept bumping into that one and knocked it loose. So I've just been waiting on Auburn, because she is small enough to be able to fit in here to get in there to tighten that up. I am way too big. Not overly worried about it, because Baby G and Gabby get along so well. They share their basking spot and the space heater in here. I mean, the ambient temp is freaking awesome. But yeah, so these cages that Freddie, girl Sky, oh my goodness, you plump girl. Look at you. Plump is good. Plump means ovulation, hopefully, which would then mean babies. So yeah, so their enclosures that they're in, these are catios, or cat patio. I got them off of Amazon. I don't remember the brand off the top of my head. But obviously, if you were just go on Amazon and type in catio, it'll pop up. This is like a 6 foot by 3 foot by 6 foot tall. It was about $400 or so. And really, the only complaint I've got for it is access can be a little bit tricky, you know, because if you're a large individual like me, getting in through this little door can be very tough. And then also I'm very tall and all that. But yeah, I just put in that wire, the closet wire shelves on the back of both of these. But yeah, these cages work really, really great if you've got iguanas or any larger lizard that needs some space. This is just a really sweet way to do, an easy way without actually building it yourself. And they've worked really well. I really don't have any complaints, other than accessing them can be a little rough sometimes. And then over here, so for girl Peter, and then for the lesser Antillians, what's up, crazies? And there they go. God forbid I get too close. These are Zen Habitats cages. These are the 4 foot long, 2 feet wide, 4 feet tall. They're a little bit pricey. You know, I don't know what their pricing is now, but when I bought them, they were like $550. But they're PVC, they're well made. I don't have any complaints with them. They can be a little bit flimsy if you're not careful, but once you have everything set and they're in the right spot, you don't have anything to worry about anyway. But the Zens are really, really great. So for something, a younger iguana or a smaller iguana, so like how Peter is. Oh, that snot everywhere, jeez Louise. Like, this is still a pretty good size for her. But, you know, of course, one of the many projects we need to do is we do want to redo that cage for her, for climbing and stuff like that. But I mean, even for the trio of the delis, please don't run, please don't run. The trio of them, this is still a perfect amount of space for them. So these Zen Habitat cages are really, really sweet. Food dishes, we just use, those are like the 12-inch plastic saucer plates like you can get from the garden section at like Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. They're just real cheap and they're easy. Yeah, I mean, that's, as far as the equipment that's used, I mean, those are the heat lights, the UVB, and just shop lights that we have strung up for the light, ambient light on every cage. Went over our light fixtures, some of the cages. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we use. Of course, if y'all have any questions, if there's something that I skipped over, because it's very possible I might have, anything I need to answer, if you got any questions, definitely feel free, just drop a comment down below. Yeah, look at Freddy, he's just chilling. I love that boy. But yeah, so as always, thank y'all for sticking with me for all of my long-winded ramblings. GBLiguanas.com, get yourself some pretty sweet shirts. They come in all sorts of different colors. We've got men's shirts, we've got ladies' shirts. I think I got a couple different hats on there. There's a lot of really cool merch on there. I'm still running, because I love y'all so much, 10% off, promo code Diego10, DIEGO10, get 10% off your entire store. So yeah, I mean, we appreciate everything, all purchases that y'all make through the website. It just goes back into this. It's not lining our pockets for anything. It just helps to pay for something for the enclosures or supplies or food or anything like that. So we definitely appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff, and we'll see you next time I have time to make a video. Woo!